All Energy is a wonderful opportunity to meet up with all sectors of the renewable industry, from those involved in innovation, those developing the technologies and selling them, and also the companies that buy them and deploy them. It's a unique experience in terms of bringing all these people together to discuss issues. I think one of the important things that All Energy will give is insights which we can then take forward in terms of discussions, as particularly on onshore, which is wind, which is facing many challenges, is how we can continue to deploy in the new market.
All Energy is an important event for someone like me who has worked in renewable energy almost exclusively for 15 years.
And you can see here in 2016 just the number of stands of, again, not just the private sector but of local authorities and the wider parts of the public sector who are undertaking all the projects. And the sheer volume of people, there's just a great transfer of knowledge between all the parties, helping one another understand what works and what actually doesn't work.
We need to be here. It's where all of our stakeholders are, and more importantly, it's where our supply chain are. This is where we come to exchange ideas, but more importantly, develop business. The UK is undoubtedly leading the world in the development of tidal power, and in fact Scotland is at the vanguard of this development. Without doubt, it has the largest portfolio of shovel-ready projects. It's in a very politically stable environment. We have wonderful access to grid, and of course we're blessed with natural resource.
The industry does not look now the way we thought it might, but it is still in a very good place.
The key issue in life extension for existing onshore wind farms is obtaining the consent to continue to operate. Most consents were issued with a time limit, and many of these will be coming up for their end in the near future. The challenge is, what is the policy framework that applies and how the environmental assessment will be undertaken for that continued operation.
Given that we've got over 500 cities globally with a concentration of population in excess of 1 million, energy consumption is at an all-time high, and stresses on the public sector are similarly at an all-time high. The public sector needs to find solutions to energy efficiency.
The key issue for government in repowering is setting a policy framework which allows the newest technologies to be developed and deployed in the United Kingdom. Without that new technology, it won't be cost competitive in the new regime.
We've seen consents being given for floating wind demonstrator projects, and that opens up a whole new potential for offshore wind in deep waters off the coast of Scotland, and also the potential to sell that expertise and experience globally.
Well, the Atlantis Group is looking to deploy up to £500 million worth of CapEx development in the tidal power industry in Scotland in the next 5 years. That'll deliver more than 90 megawatts. In fact, our flagship project, the Maygen project, is a 398 megawatt project. In fact, it's enough to power over 250,000 homes.
Short term, I would say we are in a very busy period of delivery of projects. So we have the projects that were given FID enabling contracts, and those who won contracts in the first auction are now moving forward into pre-construction and construction, and that's a very busy time for them. These are massively significant projects with a value of £1 to £2 billion each, and that generates a lot of economic investment, and we're seeing job creation. And one of the best things about the job creation is that a lot of these jobs are going to be in the operation and maintenance part of these wind farms, which means 25 years plus.
The difficulty that we have at the moment in the market for local authorities looking to implement energy efficiency measures is the projects they're bringing forward are partly developed, they're not sufficiently thought through, and more often than not there are so many constraints in terms of budgets and personnel that local authorities simply don't have the ability to get the project to the stage where it's bankable. The Green Loan is helping that to take place, and we at Shepperton Wedderburn are thrilled to have been part of that, having worked in partnership with the bank to come up with a product that's a spend to save model.
So we've seen different models in the public sector where the deal sizes are relatively small and the authority have the skills to undertake it themselves. Very often the authority will look to finance it themselves. Where the projects are more complex and involve a transfer of risk and a payback over a longer period of time, that's where something like the Green Loan really comes into its own. And in doing that, it gives the local authority a chance to actually shape the savings to the financing and finance it over a long period of time. The other benefit there is where we work with Shepherd and Wedderburn, we've been able to standardise the legal documentation, and again the benefits are the saving of time and also the saving of costs for both of the parties.
In the medium term, we expect, having gone through a very, very busy spell, that activity will drop as the constraining of the government support mechanism for offshore wind and also the staging of the next auctions bite, and we expect to see a bit of hiatus in activity, but still some activity. And then longer term, the future is good. The government has said that it would like to see, or suggested, a 1 gigawatt per annum run rate for delivery of offshore wind into the future. We see that offshore wind will play a significant part in the energy mix in the UK. The main challenge facing the offshore sector at this time is cost reduction. It's cost reduction, cost reduction, cost reduction. They have to bring the cost of offshore wind down. The industry set itself a challenging target about 3 or 4 years ago to bring the cost of offshore wind down to £100 per megawatt hour by 2020. The Offshore Renewable Energy Catapult was set up and we developed a cost reduction monitoring framework, and we have been testing progress towards meeting that aspirational target. Since then, we are making good progress. Cost reduction is everything. We know that there is a future for offshore wind, but only if we can get the cost down so that it is really competitive with other forms of energy.
So low carbon leadership is actually very important, and it doesn't matter whether you're a local authority or you're a shop or a large PLC. You actually need someone in your organisation to drive not just the projects forward, but the whole ethos of being low carbon in the organisation. And in doing that, to actually work up the business cases, but then to form a team to drive the projects forward. And if you don't have that, the projects probably won't happen.
All Energy 2016 and the past 2 days has been fantastic for Shepherd and Wedderburn as a firm. We've had 12 speakers from across the firm speaking on a variety of topics, and so we've managed to deliver something for everyone, which has been tremendous. In terms of our business, we have 90 lawyers within Shepherd and Wedderburn who all work full-time in the energy sector. It's a core part of our business, and so All Energy ticks all the boxes from our perspective. We're thrilled with the results and we're looking forward to next year.